Hey everybody, welcome back. Spooky Movie Month continues. I have 3 more movies here. I've watched a couple other movies on streaming as well, so I have no way to tap on those, however, so I figured I would talk about these today. And we have Carrie, as you can see. This is the limited edition big box Arrow release. And this came out last year, I think, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. I just watched it anyways. And we have the Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. And I didn't actually watch this. I attempted to watch it, and about 3.5 minutes into the movie, it completely froze up, locked my player up. And I took the disc out and I looked at the bottom, and there was a pretty gnarly scratch on the bottom, and it was a brand new movie. And I tried buffing it out, put it back in, and no luck. I reached out to Vinegar Syndrome, the label, and they will be sending me a replacement with my next order. I didn't actually buy the movie from them. It was from Bull Moose where I picked this up, but I do have an account with Vinegar Syndrome, and I've placed orders with them before, so they just said the next order to reach out to them and they'll send me a replacement copy. So that's all well and good, but I figured I'd at least tap on it, since again the other movies I watched were streaming, and get a few movies here. And I'll show you the reversible art as well, and then we have the makeup werewolf movies. I wanted to watch a werewolf movie, and my plans were foiled, so we ended up watching Dog Soldiers here. So we'll talk about all 3 of these movies and take a look at the art and some of the reversible art. I think both Carrie and this one has reversible art too. So let's start with Dog Soldiers. This does not have reversible art. I'll probably do the least amount of tapping on this one. And this came out, I don't even remember, 2005 or something like that, right? It was before The Descent. So this is the Neil Marshall movie, and I don't know if this was his first movie or not. I don't see the date on here. 2001. Wow, okay, so this came out earlier than I thought. And I would have watched this. The last video, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I didn't. Did I talk about High Tension in the last movie? The last movie I watched? Last video? I don't think so. I don't remember. Anyways, so I won't talk about that because I don't think I did a video on it, but I'll save that for my next video. But I mentioned it because I would have watched it around the same time as High Tension. And I saw this around the time it came out. It was before The Descent. And I do like werewolf movies quite a bit. I'll go out and way to watch them. So when I heard there was a new werewolf movie that supposedly was really good, I naturally really wanted to see it. And see the text here. You can actually read that. I don't know what that's about. I think it's a first. So, on a routine training mission in the Scottish Highlands, a small squad of British soldiers come across the bloody remains of a special forces team with a sole survivor. They soon discover the savage attackers are werewolves, and as the full moon rises, they have a long night and the fight of their lives ahead of them. So, Neil Marshall directed this. He directed The Descent. Descent's amazing. That's actually getting a 4K release, I think, next month. And he was tapped to direct whatever the third Predator movie, Predators. He was tapped to direct that at first, and I was pretty excited, and then the project fell through for some reason, at least with him directing. I can't remember who directed Predators, but he ended up doing this Mad Max type movie, Doomsday, I think. I was pretty excited for that one too. I saw that in the theater, and I thought it was alright. And I haven't watched it since, and I really don't know what he's up to. So I assume he's still making movies, but I can't speak to that for sure. Dog Soldiers, though, it's clearly a werewolf movie. This is a werewolf, if you're wondering. But it's more of an action movie, action horror movie, similar to something like Aliens. It actually cribs a lot from Aliens in that sense, and this small squad of soldiers, and you consider that like the squad in Aliens, and they end up holing up in this farmhouse, country house, and I was about to say aliens are trying to get in the house. Werewolves are trying to get in the house, and they have to survive the night. I guess there's some like Night of the Living Dead elements there as well. It really isn't all that concerned or spends much time at all with the werewolves themselves. They just kind of exist, and they're attacking the squad. So there really could be any monster in that case. Like, you can replace werewolf with really any creature. But the werewolves look great. They look like wolves, which, like this is pretty apt, I suppose. But the practical effects, like the suits they're wearing, it's like it looks like we're wearing like a wolf head, like an elongated wolf head, and they're very lanky and tall, and they just look cool. Every time you get to see the werewolves in this, they're very interesting to look at, but other than that, the movie is pretty predictable. You can tell the movie had a very limited budget, and Neil Marshall does the most he can with the budget they had. And the screenplay is pretty good. It does feel long, though. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes long, and like the characters aren't that interesting, and the scenario isn't so unique where like you want to spend a lot of time with them. There's more character moments than you're expecting. I really think you probably shave like 20 minutes out of this movie and make it a little leaner, and I would probably go back to watch it more often. But it's I can't remember the name of the character. Spoon, I think his name in the movie. I don't know who the actor is, but the character's name is Spoon. But it was originally going to be Simon Pegg playing that role. This is before Shaun of the Dead came out, and I guess he had some type of agreement or something where he promised Edgar Wright that would be his film debut as Shaun of the Dead, so he actually ended up not being in this movie. But I really feel that it would have elevated it quite a bit to have I think Simon Pegg's a pretty charismatic actor in the sense from a comedic standpoint, and his character in this, if he did play the part, who's the other actor? You would know who I'm thinking of, but the lead actor in this, and he looks familiar. I can't remember his name. I think he's like in daytime TV, evening TV, one of those hospital shows. But it was originally going to be, he's in all these action movies, Statham. And this would have been around Snatch 2001. I think Snatch came out in 2001 as well. So I don't know what he was up to, but he was going to be in the movie and he couldn't do it for some reason. And all I could think of is if Simon Pegg and Statham were both in this movie, I think it probably would have exploded a bit more. It definitely became a cult favorite over time, but those two actors became pretty prominent after those movies, Snatch and Shaun of the Dead, respectively. Alright, so now we have the Werewolf of the Vampire Woman. I didn't watch this, so I really can't talk about it. I really don't know anything about it. I do know it's like the 4th or 5th movie in a series. I didn't realize that when I bought it. I looked it up afterwards, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's kind of strange. So I don't know if I'll be lost or not watching this. I'm trying to open the case here. Let's take a look at the reversible art. So there we go. That's pretty cool. I actually like this art. I don't know if this is like original theatrical art or not, but I prefer it over the reverse side. And you can see almost a Teen Wolf style makeup there. And yeah, can't really speak to this. I end up watching Luz, L-U-Z, in place of this at the time. I said I ended up watching Dog Soldiers, but that was the night after. And Luz was on Mubi to stream. It's by the director who did this movie called Cuckoo, and he directed Luz, wrote and directed Luz in film school or something like that, and it was his thesis project. I don't know. It was really short. It was like 70 minutes long. It was like a demonic possession movie, and it was good. It was pretty incoherent at times. Like if you didn't have a brief synopsis of what, I guess most synopses are supposed to be brief, right? They would even seem it would be very difficult to follow what's going on. If you went and got completely blind, I have no idea what's going on in this movie. But eventually unveils itself as to what it is. And for a movie that probably had even less of a budget than Dog Soldiers, it was very atmospheric and had some moments that, from a demonic possession movie, were very interesting. So if you have a Mubi, I think it's Mubi, how they pronounce it, it's worth checking out for sure. It's like, again, a very brief movie. So this is the limited edition here for Carrie. Carrie's an absolute classic movie. One of Brian De Palma's first movies, pretty sure. This came out in the 70s. So this is the original art here. And then we have the newly commissioned art. So if I were to reverse this, you would see this here. And that's pretty good. That's Sissy Spacek plays Carrie in this. And I didn't even know if I looked at this booklet. That's right, there's Prom Night. And this is better than the book, I would say. It's hard for me to say that now because I haven't read the book in a long time. This is one of Stephen King's first books, first stories. And this movie really holds up. And for one, the cinematography looks amazing. And it does have some like a leering camera in a sense. Like there's a opening shot with girls in a locker room that really probably gave me an idea, an impression of what happens in a girl's locker room, which wouldn't be true at all. Just girls like the pillow fight thing in the sense, oh, we're having girls over for a sleepover and we're all gonna dress a certain way and hate each other with pillows. And the locker room scene in the beginning of this movie, at least before Carrie starts having some issues as a young boy growing up, it stuck with me. But that's probably the only scene in this movie where like, okay, this seems like a product of its time in that sense. Really ruthless bullies in this, which is like a Stephen King staple. And the prom scene is electrifying. Like, I don't care how many times you've seen this movie, like when it gets to that moment, your hair is kind of staring on end, and Sissy Spacek is just phenomenal in this. I've only seen her in this and The Straight Story. I really haven't seen her in too many movies, but if those are only 2 movies you've seen her in, she's an incredible actress on those 2 movies alone. So I have like remake too. I'll probably watch the remake soon. I do like the remake quite a bit as well. But anyways, thanks for watching.